From the weirdest facts that leave everyone speechless, to behind-the-scenes golf secrets you had to know earlier. These are the 20 golf facts you probably didn't know. You know that feeling when you finally beat someone who's been dominating you for years? When everything clicks and you put on a show right in front of them? That's exactly what happened to Phil Mickelson in 2012, and he made damn sure nobody would forget it. For years, Tiger Woods absolutely owned Mickelson when they were paired together. Woods dominated their head-to-head matchups in the early part of their careers, and every time they teed it up together, the result felt inevitable. But then came the 2012 AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am, and Phil had a new weapon in his hands. Paired together in the final round, Mickelson caught absolute fire with his Odyssey blade putter. He couldn't miss. Every putt dropped. When the dust settled, Phil had shot 64 while Tiger stumbled to a 75, an 11-stroke annihilation. Mickelson won the tournament at 17 under, beating Charlie Y by 2 strokes, while Woods finished tied for 15th. So what did Phil do? He named that putter Tiger Slayer and slapped it right on the head cover for the world to see. Phil took that putter, that beautiful, magical tiger-slaying piece of equipment, and turned it into a trophy. A reminder that even legends can be beaten when you find the right tool in the right moment. Up next, sometimes the weight on your shoulders has nothing to do with golf scores. Eric Van Rooyen arrived at the 2023 Worldwide Technology Championship in Mexico, ranked 125th in the FedEx Cup fall standings, right on the bubble for keeping his tour card. Miss the cut or play poorly, and his PGA Tour privileges vanish. No card, no income, no stability. But that Tuesday, something far heavier landed in his phone. A text from John Trasamar, his college roommate, his best friend, his wedding's best man, saying the melanoma had returned after remission and spread everywhere. Van Rooyen broke down in his hotel room. His caddy, Alex Gaugert, another teammate from their University of Minnesota days, did too. They could have withdrawn. Instead, Van Rooyen grabbed a Sharpie and wrote JT and music notes on every ball he'd play that week. Sunday came with Van Rooyen 4 shots back at the turn. Then something shifted. He birdied 10, 11, 12, 14, 16, and 17, shooting an 8 under 28 on the back 9. On 18, a par 5, he reached in 2 and faced a 15-footer for eagle with the tournament on the line. The putt dropped center cut. Eagle. Victory by 2 shots. Van Rooyen just stared silently at Gaugert before they embraced, both in tears. He'd secured his tour card, earned $1.476 million, and bought himself time to do what mattered most: fly to Minnesota and see John. Less than 2 weeks later, John Trasamar passed away at 33. Van Rooyen had his victory. But more importantly, he had those final days with his friend. Coming in next, there are professional athletes who treat their bodies like temples. Then there's John Daly, who treats his like a honky-tonk bar at 2 a.m. And somehow, that worked out just fine against Tiger Woods in 1994. The setting is Sherwood Country Club for a corporate outing. The night before, Daly's posted up at the round table with a bottle of Jack Daniels, inviting anyone and everyone to join. Tiger walks in. Daly waves him over for a drink, and Tiger declines, but hours pass. More Jack disappears, Tiger returns. Another invitation, another rejection. This goes on for 5 or 6 hours while Daly and his crew pound whiskey like it's their job. Eventually, Tiger returns in a suit, informing Daly there's a dinner he's supposed to attend. And oh yeah, there's a guitar on stage waiting for him. He stumbles over, grabs the guitar, belts out, "Knockin' on Heaven's Door," gets a standing ovation, and announces he'll see everyone tomorrow. Morning arrives. Daly's caddy, also drunk from the night before, is tasked with delivering Jack and Cokes to the first tee. Sherwood's opening hole has this brutal uphill walk through cactuses, and the caddy's navigating it carefully, trying not to spill the drink. Daly grabs his 3-iron, takes a sip, and tees off. The result? Daly shoots 65. Tiger shoots 71. 6-stroke difference? Daly, still buzzing from the previous night's bottle and sipping whiskey between holes, played some of the best golf of the day. Absolutely ridiculous. Up next, when tournament organizers stretch a par 3 to 252 yards, they're not expecting birdies. They're expecting carnage. Quail Hollow's 6th hole played at 241 yards Thursday, then got lengthened to 252 on Friday for the 2025 PGA Championship. By late in the second round, only 15 players had managed birdie against 6 doubles or worse. The hole was eating people alive. Si Woo Kim stepped to the tee box on his 15th hole of the day. He grabbed a 5-wood, set up for a fade, and sent it screaming toward the green. The ball landed softly on the front edge and started rolling. Then it disappeared. Kim launched his club into the air and took off sprinting toward the green, screaming in celebration before realizing his playing partner still needed to hit. At 252 yards, the ace broke the record for longest hole-in-one in major championship history. But want to hear the really absurd part? Kim already held that record from the year before, a 238-yarder at Royal Troon during the 2024 Open Championship. He'd just broken his own mark. The 29-year-old now has 6 aces in PGA Tour play, more than anyone since 2016. All right, move on to the next. There's losing, and then there's what Tommy Fleetwood endured. 163 PGA Tour starts without a single victory. Over $33 million earned, more than any golfer in history without winning. 6 runner-up finishes, 30 top 5s, 44 top 10s. All without breaking through, the 2025 season felt like torture designed specifically for him. At the Travelers Championship in June, he held a 3-shot lead with 4 holes left. Bogey on 16, 3-putt on 18, Keegan Bradley birdie. He lost. 2 weeks before the Tour Championship, he led the FedEx St. Jude Championship by 2 with 3 to play. Couldn't birdie the par 5 the 16th, missed a 7-footer for par on 17, and finished 1 shot out of the playoff. Then came East Lake for the Tour Championship. Final event of the season, $10 million, and the FedEx Cup on the line. Sunday arrived with Fleetwood tied for the lead with Patrick Cantlay. The doubts crept in, they always did. But this time, something shifted. He parred the brutal first hole, birdied the second, never fell out of the lead all day. A closing 68 gave him an 18-under total, winning by 3 shots over Cantlay and Russell Henley. Finally, it only took him 64 tries. Here we are with the next one. Making the turn at the Greenbrier Classic in 2015, Robert Streb was 1 shot off the lead heading into the back 9 of the final round. Everything is tracking nicely. Then, he casually tossed his putter toward his bag after finishing the 9th hole. Bad move. The head snapped clean off. The rules of golf says he can't replace it because the damage didn't happen during normal play. The situation here is he still has 9 holes left and no putter now. So he grabbed his 56-degree wedge and decided to make the best of the disaster. He drained a 30-footer for birdie on the 13th. Then another birdie. And another. 5 birdies total on the back 9 with a sand wedge on the greens, shooting 4 under 32. On the 18th, facing a 5-footer to tie the clubhouse lead, he calmly rolled it in with the wedge like he'd been doing it his entire career. His 65 earned him a spot in a 4-way playoff. The rules allowed him to replace his putter for sudden death, but in a cruel twist of fate, he never got to use it. He missed the green on the first playoff hole and was eliminated when Daly and David Hearn made birdies. Still, it is incredible that Streb nearly won a PGA Tour event, putting with a wedge for half the round. Next up, most couples argue about money in the kitchen or living room. John Daly had a different approach. He just threw it all away. Literally. Fresh off a $55,000 casino win, Daly was driving over the bridge from Arkansas to Memphis with his then-wife Sherry when she started yelling at him about his gambling. Now, most good husbands would definitely not do what Daly did next. He rolled down the window and chucked all $55,000 in cash off the bridge. Daly turned to Sherry and delivered his thesis. If you want that money, go find it. But remember, you don't have a job. I'm paying for everything. This is what happens when you complain about how I make the money. The argument didn't end there. Daly's buddy then decided the situation needed one more exclamation point. He took Sherry to a McDonald's drive-thru, ordered 2 cheeseburgers, fries, and a soda, and basically said, "This is your budget now if you keep this up." Sherry later confirmed the entire story in her book. She admitted she went back to retrieve the cash and managed to recover almost all of it. So Daly made his dramatic point. The money didn't actually disappear forever. And the story became yet another legendary entry in the John Daly Hall of Fame. Up next, getting fired is brutal. Getting fired over the phone while standing at an airport gate waiting to board your flight home? That's a different level of cold. This one happened in August 2006 at the Women's British Open at Royal Lytham, and St. Anne's just wrapped up. Michelle Wie, the 16-year-old phenom, finished tied for 26th. Not terrible, but not what Team Wie expected. Her caddy, Greg Johnston, packed up and headed to Manchester Airport ready to fly home after another week on tour. Then his phone rang. Michelle's agent, Ross Berlin, on the line. The message? "You're done. Thanks for your service. We're moving in a different direction." Johnston stood there at the gate stunned. He'd caddied for Julie Inkster for 12 years, winning 4 majors with her. He thought his first year with Michelle had been successful. And now, no one from the Wee family even bothered to call him directly. Not Michelle, not her parents. Just the agent delivering the news like he was canceling a subscription. Sad to say, Johnston wasn't the first. Michelle had already gone through 9 caddies as an amateur, and he wouldn't be the last. She'd cycle through several more, including one who quit after a single round, thanks to non-stop second-guessing from her parents. All right, now it's Saturday morning at the 2000 US Open. Tiger Woods is finishing his delayed second round, leading by a mile on his way to what would become a record 15-stroke victory. Everything's going according to plan, until he steps onto the 18th tee at Pebble Beach and hooks his drive straight into the Pacific. Normally, no big deal. Just reload. Except his caddy, Steve Williams, knows something Tiger doesn't. That was the second to last ball in the bag. The night before, Tiger had taken some balls out to practice putting on his hotel carpet and forgot to put them back. Now, with 6 holes left in his round, he's down to 1 ball. And he has no clue. So Woods tees up the last ball and rips another driver. Thankfully, it finds the middle of the fairway. But the danger isn't gone yet. Tiger's ball stops directly behind a tree. He decides to hit a huge cut over the ocean. Williams can't say anything about the ball situation, just wait and watch. Guess what happened? Tiger sends it long over the green and scrambles for a bogey. If that last ball had gone into the water or out of bounds, Woods would have been disqualified. No balls left meant no way to continue. Woods didn't learn about the situation until 6 months later. His reaction? Exactly what you'd expect. What the F? The greatest US Open performance in history almost ended in a DQ because Tiger forgot to restock his golf balls. Next up, first Masters appearance, opening round 75. Playing alongside Rory McIlroy and Ryo Ishikawa, 2 other young stars expected to light up Augusta. Anthony Kim looked completely overwhelmed by the moment. Then, Friday happened. Conditions were brutal. Wind ripping, greens like glass. Only 17 players broke par. Augusta was chewing everyone up. Kim birdied the demanding first, then 3-putted the 4th. But something switched on. He rattled off 4 straight birdies from 5 through 8. The round felt electric. Then came a bogey at 9 and a double at 10. Through 10 holes, he had made 1 par. His scorecard looked unhinged, pure birdies and disasters, but then he went really crazy. After a par at 11, he birdied 12 and 13, stuck a wedge at 14, and added more birdies at 15 and 18. On the final green, he faced a 12-footer to break Nick Price's record of 10 birdies in a Masters round. And yes, he buried it. 11 birdies, a 65 on a day when almost no one broke 70. Afterward, Kim said it felt like a 58. And honestly, in those conditions it was. The record still stands. Kim finished T20, came back the next year and finished 3rd, then vanished from golf altogether in 2012. Coming in next. Sometimes the greatest bets aren't made by experts. They're made by someone who just had a hunch and a spare pound in their pocket. In 2003, a UK man named Richard McAvoy placed a $1 bet at 10,000 to 1 odds that Mike Weir would win the Masters. Not Tiger Woods, who was the defending champion. Not Phil Mickelson, who was in his absolute prime. A left-handed Canadian named Mike Weir, who most casual golf fans had never heard of. He wasn't even the favorite going into Sunday since he trailed by 2 strokes. But things got interesting. On the 18th hole, Weir stared down a nerve-wracking 7-foot par putt to force a playoff. He drained it. In the sudden death playoff on the 10th hole, Len Mattiace hit his ball behind a tree and made double bogey, allowing Weir to win with just a bogey. Weir became the first Canadian male ever to win a major championship and the first left-handed player to win the Masters. McAvoy almost forgot he'd even made the bet and walked away with $10,000. It was luck or pure madness or absolute genius. You tell me. Up next, what happens when a 46-year-old crane operator who's never played 18 holes decides to enter the Open Championship? In 1976, Maurice Flitcroft discovered a loophole. Just declare yourself a professional. No one checked. He'd learned golf from a library book by Peter Allis and practiced bunker shots in an athletic field's long jump pit. Flitcroft popped up his opening drive barely past the first tee, then proceeded to shoot 121, the worst score in Open history. There was a blizzard of triple and quadruple bogeys, with one hole taking 12 strokes. His playing partners lost count. The R&A banned him for life. So Flitcroft got creative. Fake mustaches, dark glasses, and pseudonyms like Gerald Hoppy, Arnold Palmtree, and Count Manfred von Hofmannsthal. He snuck back into qualifiers multiple times before officials caught on. By the 1980s, shooting a Flitcroft became British golf slang for playing terribly. Blythefield Country Club in Michigan even created the Morris Gerald Flitcroft Member Guest Tournament in 1978, celebrating bad golf, and flew him over in 1988 to compete in the event named after him. He never won the Open, never came close. But Maurice Flitcroft became more famous than most players who made the cut. Next one. At the 1992 Texas Open, Carl Cooper hit what looked like a normal drive on the 456-yard third hole at Oak Hills Country Club. Then, physics took over. The ball hit a downhill concrete cart path and kept accelerating like it was on rails. It blew past the fifth green, flew by the sixth tee, stayed on the cart path for hundreds of yards, jumped onto a maintenance road, and finally stopped behind the 12th green. Cooper's caddy measured it, 787 yards. His father Dean watched in disbelief. If there hadn't been a fence out there, it'd still be going. Tour official Glenn Tate called it bizarre and noted the ball was 2 inches from going out of bounds. Here's the nightmare. Cooper had to hit backwards nearly 300 yards back toward the fairway. He used a 4-iron, then an 8-iron, then a chip just to reach the green he'd already passed. Double bogey on a par 4. Cooper entered that week ranked 188th on the money list, fighting to keep his tour card. He missed the cut and lost his playing privileges for 1993. The longest drive of his career ended it. On to the next one. They say Pebble Beach loves legends. That Sunday, it fell for an underdog who wasn't even supposed to be there. No momentum, no status, no expectations. Just a long-forgotten pro with a carry bag, a stomach bug, and one last shot at proving he still belonged. Vaughn Taylor hadn't won in over a decade. Hadn't had a full PGA Tour card since 2012. 10 days before the 2016 AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am, he was throwing up in a hotel room in Bogota, Colombia, so sick he withdrew from a Web.com tour event. He only got into Pebble as first alternate when Carl Pedersen withdrew. He brought only a carry bag to save money on baggage fees. At the time, Taylor was ranked 447th in the world. Sunday arrived with him trailing Phil Mickelson by 6 shots. His goal was just a top 10 finish so he wouldn't have to scramble to Monday qualify for the next event. Then Taylor ran off 4 straight birdies on the back 9, closing with a 65. Mickelson, going for his record-tying 5th Pebble Beach win, stood over a 5-foot birdie putt on 18 to force a playoff. The ball caught the lip. Taylor finished at 17 under, first win in 11 years. First Masters invitation since 2008. Not bad for an alternate who almost didn't make it. Next up, golf has a way of punishing the smallest mistakes. But this one wasn't caught by a rules official, a playing partner, or a slow-motion replay on TV. It was caught by someone watching in a living room 4,000 miles away. Someone who knows Viktor Hovland better than anyone. He was walking to his car after shooting 70 in the opening round of the 2021 Players' Championship when his phone rang. His mother, Galina, watching from Norway, had a question. Was he going to be penalized for what happened on 15? Hovland had no idea what she meant. On the 15th green, Hovland had moved his ball marker 1 putter head, left to clear the line for Justin Thomas. After Thomas putted, Hovland returned his marker. Except he moved it another putter head left instead of back to its original spot. Hovland hung up and immediately called tour officials. Video confirmed his mistake. Under the old rules, he would have been disqualified for signing an incorrect scorecard. Instead, Rule 3.3b allowed retroactive penalties. 2 strokes added, turning his 70 into 72. On Friday, Hovland shot 74. The cut fell at even par. He missed by 2 strokes, exactly the penalty his mother caught. With $15 million in prize money at stake at TPC Sawgrass, those 2 shots cost him the weekend. Sometimes mom knows best, even from 4,000 miles away. All right, here's a golf lesson for those who don't know. The LPGA's Rule 88 was created in 1990 after teaching and club pro division players struggled badly in tournaments, with one shooting over 100 and another making the turn in 52. The rule banned any non-LPGA member who shot 88 or higher from playing tour events for the rest of the year. So, you see where this is going, right? In May 2007, 17-year-old Michelle Wie returned to competition at the Gin Tribute after 4 months recovering from a broken wrist. She was playing on a sponsor exemption, not an LPGA member. Through 16 holes, Michelle stood at 14 over par on the par 72 course. 2 more bogeys and she'd hit 88, ending her LPGA season instantly. Her manager, Greg Nared, intercepted her walking to the 17th tee. After a brief conversation, Wie withdrew, citing her wrist injury. Tournament host Annika Sorenstam later accused Wie of showing a lack of class and respect, especially after Wie was spotted hitting balls 2 days later at the next tournament site. Michelle denied gaming the system, but everyone noticed she was exactly 2 shots from career disaster when she stopped playing. Next one. At Augusta National, every shot counts. Every step matters, but sometimes nature has its own rules. Jose Luis Ballester was playing the 13th hole at Augusta National in the 2025 Masters, paired with defending champions Scottie Scheffler and Justin Thomas when nature called. He forgot there were restrooms near the tee box. Justin Thomas was having issues finding his approach shot in the bushes left of the green, giving Ballester time. So the 21-year-old Arizona State senior ran down to Rays Creek and relieved himself, figuring people wouldn't see him. But they saw him. Patrons in the grandstands erupted in applause when he finished. Ballester later called it, "Probably one of the claps that I really got today real loud." Was he embarrassed? Nope. Not at all, he even said. "It was not embarrassing at all for me. If I had to do it again, I would do it again." By Friday, after rounds of 76, 78 and missing the cut, Ballester changed his tune. "I already apologized to the club and I think we just move on from this moment." Not his proudest Masters debut, but definitely his most memorable. When you gotta go at Augusta National, sometimes you just gotta go.